Captain Tae Minho stood on the bridge of the research vessel and watched Earth grow smaller behind them. His hands gripped the metal railing until his knuckles turned white. They were going back home, but home was dying. The sun was killing them slowly. Scientists said it would take maybe 30 years, maybe 40. The star that gave Earth life was changing in ways nobody understood. It flickered. It dimmed. Sometimes it burned too hot, other times too cold. Ice was already forming at the edges of the continents. Crops were failing. People were scared. Tae had been in space for 6 months, searching for answers. His ship carried the best minds humanity had. Dr. Yuna sat at her station now, staring at screens full of numbers that meant nothing good. She had tried everything. They all had. But you cannot fix a star with human technology. Not in 2147. Not when humanity had barely left their own solar system. "Captain," Yuna said quietly, "the latest readings from Earth. The temperature dropped another 2 degrees this month." Tae closed his eyes. 2 degrees meant thousands would die from the cold this winter. It meant more food shortages, more riots, more fear. "How long?" he asked. "Until it cannot support life? Maybe 20 years now. The decline is faster than we thought." 20 years. Tae had a daughter on Earth. She was 8 years old. She would be 28 when the world froze, if she lived that long. The bridge was quiet, except for the soft beeping of machines. 50 crew members, the smartest people Earth could send, and they had found nothing. No solution, no hope, just numbers that counted down to extinction. "Sir, we have a ship on sensors," the radar officer called out. "Unknown design, small, requesting permission to approach." Tae felt his body tense. Humanity had met exactly 7 alien species so far. Most ignored Earth. Humans were primitive, they said, new, not interesting. The Galactic Council existed out there among the stars, thousands of species working together, and Earth was not invited to join. Not yet. Maybe not ever. "What do they want?" Tae asked. "They are sending a message, audio only. Should I play it?" "Yes." The voice that came through the speakers was strange. It clicked and hummed like insect wings. But the translation software worked, turning the sounds into words they could understand. "Human vessel. This is Captain Thren of the Velic trade ship Morning Wing. We have been monitoring your planet's star. We see your crisis. May we come aboard?" Yuna looked at Tae with wide eyes. The Velic. Nobody had heard of them. Tae checked the database quickly. There it was. A small note. Velic. Minor species. Traders. Population less than 2 billion across 3 planets. Not important in galactic politics. "Permission granted," Tae said. What did they have to lose? The alien ship docked an hour later. It was tiny, smaller than a city bus. Captain Thren came through the airlock with 2 crew members. They looked like large insects walking on 2 legs, with 4 arms and big black eyes. Their skin had a green shimmer to it like beetle shells. Thren bowed in a very human way, which surprised Tae. "Thank you for letting us board," Thren said through a translator device on his chest. "I am Thren. We have been in your system for 3 days, studying stellar patterns. We saw your son's behavior." "Then you know we are dying," Tae said. "No point in hiding it." "Yes." Thren clicked his mandibles together. It might have been sadness. "I know what it is like to watch your world die. The Velic almost went extinct once. Our sun did something similar 400 years ago. We nearly froze." Yuna stepped forward. "But you survived. How?" Thren looked at his crew members. They clicked and hummed at each other in their own language. One of them seemed to be arguing. Finally, Thren turned back to the humans. "We built something. A device that can stabilize a star. It took us 800 years to develop the technology. It works by creating a quantum field around the star that smooths out the energy fluctuations. It is our greatest achievement as a species. The bridge went completely silent. Tay felt his heart beating in his ears. Can it save our sun? Yuna whispered. Yes, but there is a problem. Thren shifted on his legs. The Galactic Council has rules. We are not supposed to interfere with developing species. If we help you, the Council will punish the Velic. They will take away our trading rights. We will be isolated. It could destroy our economy. Tay felt hope die in his chest as quickly as it had appeared. Of course, why would aliens risk everything for a species they did not know? Why would they care about Earth? I understand, Tay said. Thank you for coming. At least we will know it was possible. Thren made a sound like wind through grass. You misunderstand, Captain. I am not telling you we cannot help. I am telling you why the Council says we should not help. But I did not come here to follow their rules. I came here to do what is right. What? Yuna said. No species should die in darkness when light can be shared, Thren said. We will give you the technology. We will install it on your sun. We will save your world. But your people, Tay said. The consequences will be severe. Yes, the Council will punish us. Other species will mock us for wasting resources on primitives. We will suffer for this choice. Thren stepped closer. But my crew and I have decided. We spent 3 days discussing it. If we have the power to save 8 billion lives and we choose not to, then what kind of species are we? What kind of beings? No, we will help. This is not negotiable. Tay felt something wet on his cheeks. He was crying. A grown man. A military captain crying in front of aliens. He did not care. We have nothing to give you in return, he said. Earth is poor. We have no technology you need. We have no money that matters in the galaxy. We cannot repay this debt. Then do not try, Thren said. This is a gift. Gifts do not require payment. For the next 6 days, the Velic crew worked without rest. They installed their device on a platform near the sun. It was beautiful, a silver sphere covered in patterns that hurt to look at. When they activated it, the sun steadied. The fluctuations stopped. The light became constant again. On Earth, people looked up at the sky and saw the sun shine properly for the first time in 2 years. They did not understand what had happened yet, but they felt it. Hope returned. Ambassador Hana stood in the United Nations building and watched the Velic ship prepare to leave Earth's system. Every screen showed it. Every person on Earth was watching. She picked up the microphone with shaking hands. People of Earth, we have been saved. An alien species called the Velic gave us a gift. They asked for nothing in return. They will suffer for helping us. The galaxy will punish them for breaking rules to save our lives. Her voice got stronger. I want them to hear this. I want the galaxy to hear this. Humanity will never forget what was done for us today. We will never forget the Velic, and we always repay our debts. Always. On the Velic ship, Thren heard the transmission and clicked his mandibles softly. Humans were emotional creatures. They made big promises. But words were just words. The Velic were leaving to face the consequences. They had done what was right. That was enough. Thren had no way of knowing that humans meant every word they said. He had no way of knowing that he had just changed the future of the entire galaxy. He only knew that 8 billion people would live to see tomorrow because of what he chose today. The Velic ship jumped to faster-than-light travel and vanished. Behind them, Earth began to heal. And in every city, people started building monuments to remember the insects who gave them back their world. Director Sung Ji-woo walked through the museum on Earth and stopped at the statue. It showed Captain Thren exactly as he looked 100 years ago. The insect alien stood tall, his forearms spread in a gesture of giving. At the base, words were carved in every language on Earth and in Velic, too. They gave us tomorrow. Sung was 70 years old now, but he would live much longer. Medical technology had advanced so fast in the last century that humans could expect to live 200 years easily. He remembered being a child when the sun was fixed. He remembered the celebrations. He remembered his grandmother crying with joy. Now he ran the Human Expansion Initiative. His job was to manage humanity's colonies across the stars. It was a big job. Humans had spread far and fast. A young reporter approached him. Her name was Minji, and she was doing a story on the centennial anniversary of first contact with the Velek. "Director Sung, can you explain how humanity grew so quickly?" Minji asked, holding up her recording device. "Most alien species take thousands of years to colonize even 100 planets. Humans did it in a century. How?" Sung smiled. People asked him this question often. "Because we had something to prove," he said. "When the Velek saved us, they showed us what it meant to have power and choose kindness. We decided humanity would become strong enough to do the same for others. Every scientist, every engineer, every person who looked up at the stars asked themselves the same question. What if another species needs help someday? What if we could be the ones to save them?" He pointed at the statue. "That motivation pushed us harder than any war ever could. We worked like people possessed. Unity came easy when everyone had the same goal." Minji nodded, taking notes. "Can you give me specific examples?" "Of course." Sung started walking, and she followed. In 2157, just 10 years after the Velek saved us, we had colonies on 12 planets. We learned how to terraform worlds, how to make dead rocks into living homes. The Velek technology gave us clean energy, which freed up resources we had been wasting on fuel. They passed displays showing the timeline, pictures of the first colonies, ships being built, humans in spacesuits planting flags on new worlds. In 2177, Dr. Sora made her breakthrough, Sung continued. Quantum tunneling. She found a way to fold space itself. Suddenly, we could travel to any star in weeks instead of years. That changed everything. The galaxy became small. "The Galactic Council must have noticed," Minji said. "Oh, they noticed." Sung laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "They started watching us very carefully. See, the Council has existed for over 1,000,000 years. They have seen thousands of species rise and fall. They have models, predictions for how fast a species should develop. Humans broke every single model." They reached a section of the museum showing military vessels. Big ships covered in weapons and armor. Admiral Wu Dehyun had designed most of them. He was still alive, too, still serving, now 130 years old. "The Council got nervous when we started building these," Sung said. "They sent ambassadors asking why we needed warships. We told them the truth. We needed to be ready." "Ready for what?" "Ready to repay our debt." Minji frowned. "I don't understand." Sung looked at her seriously. "The Velek gave us everything when they had no reason to. The galaxy punished them for it. Their economy crashed. They lost colonies. Other species stopped trading with them. The Velek population started declining, all because they chose to save us." He pointed at the ships. "Every human knows this story. We teach it to our children. We never let anyone forget. So we built ships. We developed weapons. We created an army that could fight anyone anywhere, because we knew that someday the Velek might need us. And when that day came, we would be ready." "That seems extreme," Minji said quietly. "Does it?" Sung asked. "Let me tell you what humans built in 100 years. 800 colonized worlds. A population of 40 billion people across the stars. Energy weapons that can cut through any known armor. Shields that can stop anything. Medical technology that can cure any disease. AI that can think faster than any organic brain. Ships that can cross the galaxy in days." He turned to face her fully. "We did all of this because we never forgot what the Velek did. Every breakthrough, every invention, every new colony, we built it thinking about them. Gratitude made us powerful, Minji. The need to repay kindness made us into something the galaxy had never seen before. They walked to a window that looked out over the city. Flying cars moved between buildings. Holographic advertisements floated in the air. Everything looked clean and bright and advanced. "What do other species think of us?" Minji asked. "They are scared," Sung said honestly. "Humanity appeared out of nowhere and became a major power in just one lifetime. The Council does not know what to do with us. Some species want to be our friends. Others think we are dangerous, but all of them respect us now." "They have to." "And the Velic?" Sung's expression softened. "We protect them. Quietly. Humans buy their products at premium prices to support their economy. We share technology with them. We have ships near their territory at all times. If anyone threatens them, we will know immediately." Minji was quiet for a moment, thinking. "Do you think we will ever stop growing?" "No," Sung said. "Not until we are strong enough to protect everyone who shows kindness in this galaxy. The Velic taught us something important. They taught us that civilization is measured not by how much power you have, but by what you choose to do with that power. The Council sees it differently." "The Council has rules that punish mercy," Sung said, and his voice had an edge to it. "They sanctioned the Velic for saving 8 billion lives. What kind of system does that? We are going to change those rules someday. We are going to make sure no species ever suffers for choosing to help another. That is humanity's goal." They returned to the statue of Thren. Sung placed his hand on the cool metal. "Every human ship has a copy of this statue," he said. "Every colony, every space station. We never want to forget where we came from. We were dying, and someone saved us for no reason except that it was the right thing to do." "And now humanity is strong enough to save others," Minji said. "Not just strong enough," Sung corrected her. "Ready, willing, determined. The Velic gave us 100 years to prepare. We did not waste a single day." Minji looked up at the statue. "Do you think they know, the Velic? Do they understand what they created when they saved us?" Sung shook his head. "I don't think so. Captain Thren is still alive, you know. He is very old now, but the Velic live a long time. We send him reports sometimes, telling him how Earth is doing. He always responds the same way. He says he is glad we survived, and he hopes we use our success wisely. That is all. That is all. He does not ask for anything. He does not want recognition. He just wants to know that his choice mattered." Sung smiled. He has no idea that his choice changed everything. He does not know that humanity built an empire just so we could repay him someday. "Will that day come?" Minji asked. Sung looked out the window at the stars. "Maybe, maybe not, but we will be ready either way. That is what it means to be human now. We remember. We prepare. And when someone needs us, we will move heaven and earth to help them." Minji turned off her recorder. "Thank you, Director. This will make a good story." After she left, Sung stood alone with the statue. He thought about Admiral Wu and his fleets. He thought about the weapons humanity had built, the technology they had mastered, the power they had accumulated. Somewhere out in the galaxy, the Velic lived their quiet lives. They had no idea that 800 human worlds were watching over them. They did not know that humanity had marked their territory as sacred. They did not understand that if anyone ever threatened them, humanity would bring down fire and fury like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. The Velic thought they had given humans a gift and received nothing in return. They were wrong. They had received something incredibly valuable. They had received humanity's eternal loyalty. They had earned humanity's protection. They had gained an ally who would never forget and never abandon them. Captain Thren had saved Earth expecting nothing back. But humanity did not work that way. Humans always repaid their debts. Always. It was just a matter of time before the galaxy learned what that really meant. Sung touched the statue one more time, then left the museum. He had work to do, ships to build, colonies to manage, an empire to maintain. All of it built on a foundation of gratitude to a small insect captain who made the right choice 100 years ago. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson. Kindness to humanity was the best investment anyone could make. And those who helped humans would find themselves protected by the most powerful force in the known universe. Not because humans wanted something in return, but because humans never forgot a favor. Never. Elder Thren stood on the balcony of his home and looked at the sky. It was a beautiful evening on Velic Prime. 3 moons hung in the purple twilight. He could see the lights of the city below, but there were fewer lights than before, fewer every year. He was 127 years old now, ancient for a Velic. Most of his crew from the mission to Earth had died already. He was alone with his memories. The communication device on his wrist buzzed. It was his granddaughter, Sari. "Grandfather, did you see the council announcement?" Her voice sounded worried. "No, what did they say?" "The Dravak are coming. They have permission to pass through our system. The council approved their route." Thren's 4 hands tightened on the railing. The Dravak, a species that lived by conquering others. They were like locusts, stripping worlds of resources and moving on. Every species in the galaxy feared them. "When?" he asked quietly. 3 days. Maybe 4. Grandfather, the council refused to help us. They said the Velic are not economically important enough to defend. Of course they did. The Velic had been declining for a century. Ever since they saved Earth, the galaxy had treated them like fools. Weak, worthless. A cautionary tale about the cost of mercy. "Come to my house," Thren said. "Bring your children. We will be together when the end comes." He cut the connection and looked at the sky again. Somewhere up there, the Dravak fleet was approaching. Thousands of ships, millions of warriors. They would take everything, kill everyone. The Velic had no military. They were traders, not fighters. They would die without even putting up a fight. Thren thought about Earth. He thought about Captain Tay and Dr. Yuna. He wondered if they were still alive. Probably not. Humans lived such short lives. But their children would be alive. Their grandchildren. The species he had saved. He wondered if they remembered. Probably not. 100 years was a long time. The Velic had saved them, and then the Velic had faded into history. That was fine. Thren had never wanted recognition anyway. The next day, the Dravak arrived early. Their ships filled the sky like a swarm of metal insects. They were ugly things, covered in spikes and weapons. They broadcast their intentions immediately. "Velic species, your world has been selected for harvesting. Surrender your resources. Those who cooperate will be allowed to live as labor. Those who resist will be eliminated." Thren listened to the broadcast from his home. His family had gathered around him. 17 Velic, 3 generations. They held each other's hands and tried not to show fear. The planetary defense forces tried to respond. Tried. The Velic had 6 small ships designed for police work, not war. The Dravak destroyed them in seconds. Explosions lit up the sky like fireworks. "It is over," Thren's son said. "We should surrender. Maybe they will let some of us live." Thren shook his head. "The Dravak do not keep their promises. They will take everything and leave us with nothing. Better to die with dignity." He walked to his communication console. An old one, very outdated. He had kept it because it could send messages across very long distances. He had never needed to use it before. His hands moved over the controls. He set it to broadcast on all frequencies as far as the signal would reach. Then he began to record. "This is Thren of the Velic," he said quietly. His voice was steady despite everything. "I am sending this message to whoever might hear it. Our world is ending. The Dravak have come to destroy us and we have no power to stop them. The Galactic Council has abandoned us. We will die here." He paused, thinking about what to say. I do not send this as a call for help. I know no help will come. The galaxy has made it clear what it thinks of the Valak. We are not worth saving. We accepted this truth long ago. Behind him, his granddaughter was crying softly. Thren kept talking. I send this message because I want someone to know that we lived, that we tried to be good, that we helped others when we could. 100 years ago, we saved a species called humanity from extinction. We gave them our most precious technology. The galaxy punished us for it, but I would make the same choice again. His voice cracked a little. I would always make that choice, because that is who the Valak are. We believe in kindness. We believe in mercy, even if it costs us everything. Outside, the Drevak ships began landing. Thren could hear explosions in the distance. The invasion had started. To whoever hears this, remember the Valak. Remember that we died knowing we lived with honor. We saved those we could save. We showed mercy when others would not. If there is any justice in this universe, that will matter. He ended the recording and sent it. The signal went out into space, spreading in all directions. Maybe someone would hear it. Maybe not. It did not matter anymore. Grandfather, Sari said, what do we do now? Now we wait, Thren said, and we stay together. The message traveled through space at the speed of light. It passed through empty systems. It bounced off relay stations. It spread further and further from its source. 3 days later, it reached the edge of human space. A listening post called Station Gamma picked it up first. The technician on duty, a young woman named Rena, was drinking coffee when the alert came through. She almost ignored it. They got thousands of random signals every day. But something made her check this one. She played the recording, listened to Thren's voice, heard him talk about the Valak dying. Rena dropped her coffee cup. It shattered on the floor, but she did not notice. She immediately sent the recording up the chain of command, to her supervisor, to the sector commander, to fleet headquarters, to Earth. Within 6 hours, President Mina heard it. She was in a meeting when her assistant interrupted. Madam President, you need to hear this immediately. Mina listened to Thren's message. Her face went very still. When it finished, she stood up. Get me Admiral Wu, she said. Now. Ma'am, he is 3 sectors away with the fleet. I don't care if he is on the other side of the galaxy. Get him on the line now. 5 minutes later, Admiral Wu De-hyun appeared on the holographic display. He was an old man now, 133 years old, but his eyes were still sharp. Madam President, he said. Admiral, I am activating Protocol Remembrance. Wu went very still. Protocol Remembrance. Every military officer knew what it meant. It was the contingency plan created 100 years ago. The plan for if the Valak ever needed help. Confirmed, Wu said. What are the targets? The Drevak are invading Valak Prime. Eliminate them. Save the Valak. No restrictions. No limits. Use everything we have. Understood. How fast do you want us there? Yesterday, Admiral. We are already late. Wu smiled. It was not a kind smile. Give me 8 hours. I will bring the storm. The transmission ended. President Mina sat down heavily in her chair. Her hands were shaking. Her assistant spoke carefully. Madam President, the Galactic Council will not approve of this. If we intervene without their permission, they could sanction us. Let them try, Mina said. Her voice was hard as steel. The Valak saved us when the Council said they should not. They suffered for showing mercy. Now they are dying because the galaxy abandoned them. If the Council has a problem with us saving them, they can speak to our fleet. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, Earth was beautiful, green and blue and alive, all because one alien captain made a choice 100 years ago. Send a message to all human worlds, Mina said. Tell them what is happening. Tell them we are going to repay our debt. The message went out. 40 billion humans heard it within the hour, and in every city, on every colony, on every ship, people stopped what they were doing and looked up at the stars. In museums across human space, people gathered around the statues of Thren. They placed flowers at the base. They prayed. They remembered. Children who had learned the Velic language in school practiced the words. Thank you. We remember. We are coming. Admiral Wu stood on the bridge of his flagship and gave the order. All ships, maximum velocity. Target, Velic Prime. We are going to war. 300 warships began moving, the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled. Each ship was massive, built with technology that took a century to develop. Their weapons could destroy planets. Their shields could stop stars. But they were not going to destroy planets. They were going to save one. The fleet entered quantum tunnels and vanished from human space. They were traveling faster than anything else in the galaxy could move, faster than the Dravac could react, faster than the Council could interfere. 8 hours after receiving Thren's message, Admiral Wu and his fleet emerged above Velic Prime. Below them, the Dravac were destroying the world. Cities burned. People died. The invasion was nearly complete. Wu looked at the destruction and felt something cold settle in his chest. Rage. Pure, focused rage. He opened a channel to all ships. Remember why we are here. Remember who saved us. Remember what we owe. 300 captains answered as one. We remember. Then let's show these parasites what happens when you threaten humanity's friends. All weapons free. Fire at will. The sky above Velic Prime filled with light as humanity went to war. The Dravac harvester Cross was on the surface of Velic Prime when the sky tore open. He was supervising the collection of resources, watching his warriors load stolen goods onto transport ships. The invasion was going perfectly. The Velic had no defense, no resistance. They were as weak as the intelligence reports promised. Then space itself split apart above the planet. Cross looked up and saw ships emerging from quantum tunnels. Massive ships. Ships bigger than anything he had ever seen. 300 of them, appearing all at once like vengeful gods. What species is that? He asked his second in command. The sensor officer checked his displays. His voice came back uncertain. They are human, Harvester. But this makes no sense. Humans are a young species. They should not have this technology. They should not have this many ships. Cross felt something he rarely experienced. Doubt. But he was Dravac. His species had conquered 40 systems. A few ships did not scare him, no matter how big they were. How many ships do we have here? He asked. 943, Harvester. Then we outnumber them 3-1. Prepare for combat. Above the planet, Admiral Wu watched the Dravac fleet scramble to respond. They were forming battle lines, getting ready to fight. They thought numbers would save them. They were wrong. Commander Jin Taik stood at his station on the flagship. His hands moved over the controls, checking weapon systems. The ship was called Unyielding Debt. Every human vessel had a name like that. Eternal Gratitude, Never Forgotten, Memory's Price, names that reminded them why they were here. Admiral, the Dravac are hailing us, the communications officer said. Put them through. A face appeared on the screen. It was Cross. The Dravac looked like a cross between a lizard and a spider. His eyes were cold and cruel. Human fleet, you are interfering in an authorized harvest. The Galactic Council has approved our presence here. Leave immediately or face consequences. Admiral Wu stood up slowly. He was old, but he stood straight and proud. His uniform was crisp. His expression was ice. You are in debt space, Wu said clearly. This world and its people are under human protection. You have 30 seconds to begin retreat. Cross laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding together. You think 300 ships scare us? We have conquered entire systems. We will crush you, and then finish harvesting this worthless planet." 20 seconds, Wu said. "You are making a mistake, human. The Dravak do not lose." 10 seconds. Cross cut the transmission and gave orders to his fleet. "Destroy them. All ships. Open fire." The Dravak fleet launched their weapons. Thousands of missiles streaked through space. Energy beams cut through the darkness. It was enough firepower to destroy a moon. The human shields activated. Blue light shimmered around each ship. The missiles hit the shields and vanished, not exploded. Vanished. The shields did not just block energy, they redirected it into another dimension. The attacks might as well have been thrown into a black hole. "Time is up," Admiral Wu said. "Commander Jin, demonstrate our capabilities. Target one Dravak destroyer. Use the Sun Lance." "Yes, sir." Jin's hands moved over his console. The unyielding Det's primary weapon charged. It took energy directly from a contained fusion reaction, a miniature star inside the ship's core. The weapon's barrel began to glow white-hot. "Target locked," Jin said. "Firing!" A beam of light shot from the flagship. It was so bright it hurt to look at, so hot that space itself seemed to boil around it. The beam crossed the distance between the fleets in a fraction of a second. The Dravak destroyer did not explode. It did not burn. It simply ceased to exist. The Sun Lance erased matter at the atomic level. Where there had been a ship, there was now nothing, not even debris. The Dravak fleet stopped moving. Every ship, every captain. They were all staring at the empty space where their destroyer had been. Admiral Wu spoke again. His voice was broadcast to every Dravak ship. "That was a warning. You now have one choice. Leave this system or be removed from existence. You have 10 seconds to decide." On the surface, Harvester Cross watched the sky in disbelief. One shot had erased a ship completely. What kind of weapon was that? What kind of species had weapons like that? "Harvester, what are your orders?" his second-in-command asked. Cross hesitated. Pride told him to fight. Survival told him to run. He looked around at the Velik city they were conquering, at the treasures they were loading. Was it worth dying for? The human transmission came again. 5 seconds. "Retreat," Cross said. His pride was wounded, but he was not stupid. "All ships, retreat. We leave this world." But Admiral Wu was done being merciful. The Velik were dying down there. Cities were burning. People had been killed. The Dravak thought they could just leave after the damage they had caused. "Negative," Wu said. "You had 30 seconds to leave peacefully. That time is gone. Now you leave in pieces or you do not leave at all. All ships, engage. Destroy the Dravak fleet." 300 human warships opened fire at once. The battle was not a battle. It was extermination. The human ships moved with perfect coordination. 300 vessels acting as one organism. Their AI systems were linked, sharing information faster than thought. When one ship fired, every other ship knew the target and adjusted their own fire. The Dravak tried to fight back. They had more ships. They had experience. They had conquered systems before. None of it mattered. Human fighters launched from carriers, small ships piloted by AI-human hybrid consciousness. They moved too fast for organic pilots to follow. They dodged through the Dravak formations like deadly dancers, their weapons cutting through armor like paper. Tactical Officer Rena Park coordinated the fighter squadrons from the flagship. She had been the technician who first heard Thren's message. Now she was watching her people destroy those who had threatened the Velik. "Squadron 7, target the carrier group on the left flank," she ordered. "Squadron 12, protect our destroyers. Squadron 20, you are free to hunt. Find their command ships." The Dravak fleet broke formation. Their organized attack became chaos. Ships tried to flee. Ships tried to hide. Ships tried to surrender. The humans gave them nothing. Commander Jin targeted another group of Dravak vessels. "Firing quantum mines," Small spheres launched from the unyielding det. They floated into the Drevak formation and then detonated. But they did not explode with fire. They exploded with gravity, artificial black holes that sucked in everything nearby. 20 Drevak ships collapsed into singularities and vanished forever. Harvester Cross was on his command ship, trying to escape. His fleet was dying around him, 900 ships reduced to hundreds in minutes. How was this possible? How had humans become so powerful? A human destroyer appeared in front of his ship. It was called Never Forgotten. The human captain's face appeared on Cross's screen. "Harvester Cross, your war is over. Surrender your ship." "Never," Cross hissed. "The Drevak do not surrender." "Then die." The Never Forgotten fired. Cross's ship exploded. He had just enough time to realize he had made a terrible mistake attacking this world. Then there was nothing. The battle lasted 14 minutes. When it was over, the Drevak fleet was destroyed. 700 ships were gone. 200 had managed to escape into quantum tunnels, fleeing for their lives. Admiral Wu watched the last Drevak ship vanish and took a deep breath. "Status report. All human ships operational," Commander Jin reported. "0 casualties, minor damage to 3 vessels, nothing serious." Wu nodded. "Begin landing operations. Get medical teams to the surface. Engineering crews, start assessing the damage to Velik cities. Move fast. People are dying down there." The human fleet moved into action. Dropships launched from carriers, medical facilities, engineering equipment, food, water, medicine, everything the Velik would need to survive. On the surface, Thren stood in the ruins of his city and watched human ships land. He could not believe what he was seeing. For 3 days, he thought he would die. Then space had exploded with light. The Drevak had been destroyed in minutes. And now humans were landing on his world. Humans. The species he had saved 100 years ago. A human shuttle landed near Thren's position. The door opened and soldiers came out. They wore armor covered in medical symbols. Behind them came doctors with equipment. And then Admiral Wu stepped out. He was very old, older than Thren even, but he walked with purpose. He walked directly to Thren, and somehow he knew exactly who Thren was. Maybe from old pictures, maybe from databases, maybe from the statue that every human ship carried. Admiral Wu stopped in front of Thren. Then he did something that shocked the old Velik. The human admiral knelt. "Elder Thren," Wu said. His voice was thick with emotion. "I am Admiral Wu Dehyun of the Terran Federation. We received your message. We came as fast as we could." Thren's voice clicked and hummed. His translator turned it into words. "You came. You actually came." "Did you think we would not?" Wu asked. "You saved our world. You gave us everything when we had nothing. Did you think humanity would forget?" "It has been 100 years, Thren said. "I thought you had moved on. I thought we were forgotten." Wu stood up and placed a hand on Thren's shoulder. "Every human child learns your name in school. Every ship carries your image. Every colony celebrates the day you saved Earth. We have never forgotten. Not for a single day." Thren felt something he had not felt in a century. Hope. "My people are dying." "Not anymore," Wu said firmly. "We are here now. We brought doctors, engineers, everything you need. We will rebuild your cities, heal your wounded, protect your world. The Drevak will never threaten you again. No one will." Around them, human soldiers were already helping wounded Velik. Doctors were setting up medical tents. Engineers were scanning damaged buildings. Ships were landing everywhere, bringing help. Thren's granddaughter, Sari, approached with her children. They stared at the humans with wide eyes. "Grandfather, what is happening?" she asked. Thren looked at Admiral Wu, at the human soldiers saving his people, at the fleet in the sky protecting his world. He thought about what he had done 100 years ago. One small act of kindness. One choice, to help a dying species. I gave them tomorrow, Thryn said quietly, and they are giving it back to us. 1 year had passed since the Battle of Velek Prime. The galaxy was still trying to understand what had happened. Ambassador Hannah Lee stood in the Galactic Council chamber and looked at the faces around her. Thousands of species had representatives here. Some looked like insects, some looked like plants, some looked like living crystals. They all looked nervous. Hannah was 126 years old now. She had been Earth's first ambassador when the Velek saved humanity. She had stood in the United Nations and made a promise that humanity would repay its debt. Now she was here to see that promise completed. The council speaker, an ancient being named Vrex, floated in the center of the chamber. His species was pure energy contained in a magnetic field. He had been speaker for 3,000 years. He had seen civilizations rise and fall. "Ambassador Hannah," Vrex said. His voice was like wind chimes. "The Council has summoned humanity to answer for its actions. You destroyed the Drevak fleet without authorization. You violated our protocols. You acted without Council approval." Hannah smiled politely. "We saved a species from extinction. We stopped an invasion. We protected the innocent. If those actions violate your protocols, then your protocols are wrong." The chamber erupted in noise. Representatives shouted, some in agreement, some in anger. Vrex raised his energy field to call for silence. "The Council makes the rules," Vrex said. "Individual species cannot act alone. That is chaos." "Then chaos is better than your order," Hannah replied. Her voice was calm but hard. "The Velek came to this council begging for help. You refused. You said they were not economically valuable enough to save. You let them die. So we saved them ourselves." President Mina appeared on a holographic display beside Hannah. She spoke from Earth, her image projected across the galaxy. "Let me be clear about humanity's position," Mina said. "We are not asking for permission. We are not seeking approval. We are telling you how things will be from now on. Any species that shows kindness to humanity will receive our protection. Forever. Anyone who threatens our friends will face our full military might." "We do not care about your protocols." Vrex's energy field flickered with what might have been anger. "You cannot dictate terms to the Council. We have existed for 1,000,000 years. And in 1,000,000 years, you have created a system that punishes mercy," Mina said. "The Velek saved Earth, and you sanctioned them. You destroyed their economy. You made them weak. And when they needed help, you abandoned them to die. If that is your idea of civilization, we want no part of it." Another representative spoke up. It was a creature that looked like a floating brain in a jar. "The humans are too dangerous. They appeared from nowhere and became a military power in 1 century. They must be controlled." Mina laughed. It was not a happy sound. "Control us? You are welcome to try. But let me show you something first." The holographic display changed. It showed footage from the Battle of Velek Prime, the Drevak fleet being destroyed in minutes. Human ships moving with perfect coordination. Weapons erasing matter from existence. "This is what happened when someone threatened our friends," Mina said. "We used approximately 10% of our military capability in that battle. We have 800 worlds. We have 40 billion people. We have technology that most of you cannot imagine. And all of it, every ship, every weapon, every soldier, exists for one purpose: to protect those who show us kindness." The chamber went quiet. Really quiet. Every representative was watching the footage, seeing what humanity could do. "You cannot conquer the galaxy," Vrex said, but his voice had lost its certainty. "We do not want to conquer the galaxy," Mina said. "We want to change it. We want a system where helping others is rewarded, not punished. Where showing mercy makes you stronger, not weaker. Where species like the Velek are celebrated, not sanctioned. Hana stepped forward. Humanity proposes new laws. We call them the Velic Protocols. First, any species that provides humanitarian aid to another species will receive council support, not sanctions. Second, the council must respond to extinction-level threats within 72 hours. Third, economic value cannot be used to determine if a species deserves protection. And if the council refuses these protocols? Vrex asked. Then humanity will enforce them ourselves, Mina said simply. We will protect any species that needs help. We will stop any invasion we learn about. We will act with or without council permission. The choice is yours. Work with us or become irrelevant. The council chamber exploded with debate. Representatives argued with each other. Some supported humanity's position. Many were afraid of what humans had become. Some were angry at being given ultimatums. Vrex watched it all. He was ancient. He had seen this before. Young species trying to change the system. Usually they failed. Usually the council outlasted them. But humanity was different. They had power. They had determination. And they had proven they would use both. The council will vote on the Velic protocols, Vrex announced. All representatives register your decision. The vote took 3 hours. It was close. Many species were afraid of change. Many wanted to maintain the old ways. But in the end, fear of humanity won. The protocols passed by a narrow margin. The laws are adopted, Vrex said. He sounded tired. The galaxy is changed. Hana bowed respectfully. Thank you, Speaker. Humanity looks forward to working with the Council to build a better future. The transmission ended. Mina disappeared from the holographic display. Hana left the Council chamber and took a shuttle back to her ship. She was exhausted. Changing the galaxy was hard work. On Velic Prime, Elder Thren watched the Council proceedings from his new home. The humans had rebuilt his city, better than before. They had given his people 50 new colony worlds. They had transferred technology. They had promised military protection forever. The Velic population was growing again. Young Velic were being born for the first time in decades. The species would survive. They would thrive. Thren's granddaughter Sari sat beside him. Her children played nearby with human children. The two species had become close, learning each other's languages, sharing cultures, building friendship. Grandfather, Sari said, I do not understand. You gave humanity one device. They gave us back our entire civilization. This is not equal. Thren clicked his mandibles softly. You are right. It is not equal. But that is not the point. I gave them hope when they had none. You cannot measure the value of hope. But still, they have done so much. Because that is who they are, Thren said. When I saved Earth, I thought I was giving them a gift. But really, I was making an investment. I invested in humanity's future, and they have paid me back 1,000-fold. He looked up at the sky. Human ships were always there now, protecting Velic space. The Terran Federation had declared the Velic system sacred. Anyone who threatened it would face immediate response. I am old, Thren said. I will die soon. But I will die knowing that my choice mattered. I will die knowing that my people will live forever under humanity's protection. Sari hugged her grandfather. They really do remember. After all these years, they never forgot. No, Thren agreed. They never forgot. On Earth, a new monument was unveiled. It stood beside the statue of Thren that every city had. This new monument showed Admiral Wu kneeling before Elder Thren, the moment when humanity finally repaid its debt. But the inscription on this monument was different. It was a warning, words carved in stone for all to see. To every species in the galaxy, humanity remembers kindness. Show us mercy, and we will move worlds to protect you. Show us friendship, and we will reshape the stars to help you. But threaten those we love, and you will learn what it means to face humanity's full fury. We are the guardians of the grateful. We are the protectors of the kind. We never forget a favor, and our return gift can shake entire worlds. Choose wisely." President Mina stood at the unveiling ceremony. She was getting old now, ready to retire soon. But she had seen humanity's promise fulfilled. She had watched them change the galaxy. A reporter asked her the same question reporters always asked. "Madam President, was it worth it? All the resources spent rebuilding Velic Prime, all the military power used to protect one small species?" Mina looked at the reporter like she was crazy. "Worth it? The Velic saved 8 billion human lives when they had no reason to. They gave us their most precious technology. They suffered for helping us. And you ask if it was worth it to save them in return?" She pointed at the monument, at the image of Admiral Wu kneeling. "That is what humanity is. That is what we chose to be. We are the species that repays its debts. We are the ones who remember. If that makes us different from the rest of the galaxy, then I am proud of that difference." The reporter tried again. "But the Galactic Council says you are disrupting the balance of power." "Good," Mina said. "The old balance was broken. It punished kindness. It rewarded cruelty. We are creating a new balance, one where mercy is strength, where helping others makes you powerful, where no species dies alone in the dark." She walked away from the reporters and stood in front of the monument. She touched the stone image of Thren. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved us. You changed us. You made us into something better." Across the galaxy, the message had spread. Every species knew the story now. The Velic who saved humanity. The humans who never forgot. The debt that was repaid 1,000-fold. Some species looked at humanity with fear, others with respect. But all of them understood one simple truth. Being kind to humanity was the best decision anyone could make, and being cruel to humanity's friends was a fatal mistake. The Velic protocols became the most important laws in the galaxy. Species that helped others were celebrated, protected, rewarded. The old system of cold calculation and economic value was replaced by something new, something better, and at the center of it all was one simple act. One alien captain choosing to help a dying species. One small gift that changed everything. Elder Thren died peacefully 2 years later, surrounded by family. His last words were simple. "I am glad I helped them. I am glad they remembered." At his funeral, every human in the galaxy stopped what they were doing and observed silence. 40 billion people honoring one alien who made the right choice. President Mina gave the eulogy, broadcast across the stars. "Thren of the Velic taught us what civilization really means," she said. "Not how much you have, not how powerful you are, but what you choose to do with that power. He chose mercy, he chose kindness, and in doing so, he created the most powerful alliance in galactic history." She looked up at the sky. "We will never forget you, Thren. We will never forget what you did, and we promise that your legacy will live forever. Any species that follows your example will find in humanity the most loyal friend they could ever have." The galaxy listened. The galaxy learned. The galaxy changed. Because 100 years ago, an insect captain named Thren looked at a dying world and said, "No species should die in darkness when light can be shared." And humanity had heard those words and built an empire just to prove them true. The age of mercy had begun. And it began because humanity never forgot a favor.